charged
Yes,
Water Connect and the SIP.
yes.
And see if they can put a certain percentage on the electric, because why would you pay on a $17 garbage? Why would you pay the same as $100 on your electric? You understand what I'm saying? Because your electric is
You
more
wanna
than
pay
what your
more
garbage.
percentage on the higher service.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it should it be the 15?
But then that
15,
year-
15?
I don't
You're
know if they
taking-
can break that $25.
I think when you calculate, you should just have one amount.
Thank you.
I think when the bill's calculated, just have one amount. I think it's gonna get too much if you're gonna say, we're gonna charge 10% on electric, we're gonna charge 20% on water,
Yeah,
for
see, I
every
don't
late
know.
fee. That, it should just be one thing. Either,
Well, it should be able to say $25 and just split it between these four.
right,
But it's still gonna be higher on those lower.
Well, $17, you're gonna be paying the same as 150.
Well, 25
electric.
divided by 4 is $5 and something, how much is it, $6 and something?
If you can go back and get some maybe more information for us, and we'll just let it be as it is till.
well, I think we should take it off of this for sure.
Okay.
I mean, it's,
Yeah.
I don't know why we're charging service charges on the SIP and the Water Connect, and
It just
I think we
goes up
need
over
to,
it.
yeah. I'll make a motion that gets adjusted to remove service charges off of number 21, 23, and 25 on the utility bills.
And I'll support that.
Any further
This is
discussion?
what's happening.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're gonna we'll just put this back on then,
Yes.
next meeting or something. The rest of it. Okay, move on to new business. Approved to hire Bernard Hawkinson, Rebecca Manu, and Caroline Gar for the presidential primary election judges, March 5th, 2024 for the CBP.
Thank you.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. 8.2, approved payment of $14,407 or $12,327.22. $2,080.28 expenses for city to Spire Credit Union for IRRB grant funds received on 3/3/23.
Mayor Levine,
Yes.
this city of Keewatin received the IRRB funds that were designated for the Spire Bank in March of 2023. And that check was not then turned over to the Spire Bank. And it came to light at the end of the Spire Bank grant from the IRRB. So Mr. McCann had reached out and mentioned it. And I would like to have the council's approval to go ahead and send him the remaining portion of that grant. Counselor Thronson brought forth that I don't have supporting documents for what that $14,407.50 was for. However, this grant was handled a little bit differently, I think due to the staffing situation that the city had during that time. In order for the IRRB to release the funds, the check, Spire Bank would have had to provide the receipts at that time to the IRRB. Can you explain, you had a clerk at that time or you didn't? That would have been in 2022, I'm assuming?
Oh, in 2022.
Why does it say 23?
The payment came to us in 2023, but I don't know who was supplying the documentation when you were paying the invoices out.
With Bill. Robin and Bill were doing. That's my guess.
The way these things work is that the money gets sent, or the check gets sent to like 3 places, and it finally gets to the person that needs it, so it gets kind of tricky.
But they don't pay, IRRB does not pay anything till they get the invoices like Beth had said.
Right.
But you have to submit that stuff in the original things, you know what I mean? You
Right.
have to, and it takes the money down. So that 14,000 was still left in there, I get that. But McCann should be able to show us, I can't believe our auditors wouldn't ask us, well, why are you paying that 14,000? Where, you know, that's where my question is. And if everyone's fine with it, I'm fine with it, but I don't know, we have nothing, it's just say, here, give them 14,000. And then when the auditors might come back to us and say, well, what'd you pay them for this? And we don't have that.
Would the council entertain allowing us to pay the funds that is owed to Spire? And then asking me to get the documentation for which that $14,000 for our
Take it.
accounting purposes?
Okay, Mayor, I got a couple questions.
Okay.
Okay. So the 2,080 expenses for the city. So what is that for?
Okay, so in talking to Pat, there was a verbal agreement with the previous mayor when this all started on who was gonna pay for those two items that I have highlighted on that sheet. That's the difference. But I don't know that we can go off of a verbal
So, okay,
total.
so samples at the gas station and removal of the light bulbs.
But again, there's no notes.
So I
Okay,
guess,
the
Cover
second
it.
question, okay. Okay, so the city's the fiscal agent. So the city gets the funds and then in turn submits. There still has to be a report on this project by IRRR or the engineer or somebody has to file a report in order to make the payment and then to the city and for the city to pay it to whoever it is.
And then do IRRB would have all that.
And so that's where I think we need to get the documentation because we should actually have a file on it anyway for backup.
Okay.
And then second of all, or third, the funds came in March of 23.
Three.
Where did they go?
There's in the general fund.
So they're sitting in our checking account. And we know that for a fact. They didn't get put into a savings or,
No, because
So,
we just went
okay.
through the EDA fund and
so
accounting
then
fund.
when the money came in, so it went into this, into 33,630. Okay,
So would the council like me to table this until I can get documentation for what the expenses were that were submitted to the IRRB in order for them to distribute this check to the city?
so did McCann, he did give them the information that they need, correct?
Otherwise, the IRRB will
Yeah.
not.
They
But
wouldn't have
they,
paid us.
but
They
they
wouldn't have
didn't
paid
give
us.
you anything.
Correct.
As backup.
Holding that information, IRRB
Okay.
has to have it.
Yeah, I guess I would like, if you could contact IRRR and see what actually took place. And this 2,080, I guess, kind of goes back to, I recall being in the audience and asking several questions when this contract was evolving with the attorney. I think John Dimich was here and Spire and the insurance and everything else. And it was just kind of boom, 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 let's get it done. So there should have probably been some language in there about the city being the fiscal agent, correct me if I'm wrong, and whatever expenses are going to be incurred, if the city's going to be paying for those or not, or verbal just doesn't cut it.
I recall though Officer Whitney being part of this. And so I feel like he would be a valuable person to speak with because he had a lot to do with that initial piece of that, because I remember.
But didn't Wasn't that just the tear down?
Oh, I'm
Of
not
the
sure,
gas
and that's
pump.
what I'm saying, just
Okay.
ask, cause,
And that could be because that's his gas
yes,
station,
cause
so.
he was doing that and he applied, and he was, so I just think he's a good person to ask, to see, because I knew he was pretty.
But the whole loan is on the portal for
Yeah.
it has to be.
Mhm.
So, but he might have been, you know what I mean, like, he's just a person that would probably have the most.
But if the city agreed to tear down the buildings, then that's a whole nother
Yeah,
thing.
but I think that that's a good
Okay.
place to look.
I don't think we did.
I
We
don't
got
know.
money for it.
So do we need a motion to table this?
Yeah, let's
I'll
take.
make a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I can't read.
It's just finding the paperwork.
Motion by Counselor Thronson,
I did, 2 seconds.
okay.
Whatever, either way. I don't care.
No, Yep, and we have a motion?
I'm a second.
Yep.
Okay. Any further discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Number E4, Eric, bring them flags up. Okay, very well, that's right.
Pass it around, you guys take a look at it. These are
I'm good,
a lot more
Never seen
expensive,
them since you seen them.
I'm good.
so. That ones are $78 a piece, they're the quote number 1 from Display Sales, which is who we've been buying flags and banners and stuff from for years, from what I've seen. Whatever. But I did reach out to another company, and theirs are sewn together like that. I didn't order one, I thought I would talk to you first. Theirs are not 78, 39, basically half.
They probably don't have that spinner thing in them. or
They have a fiberglass hole instead of metal, like the banners.
Yeah.
Yeah, the more fiberglass rods, holes,
Mhm.
which is a solid fiberglass. To me, that almost seems heavy duty, but I would almost like to see one. I don't wanna keep wasting time on this, but you guys tell me. Should I order one?
Do
and
we
see
have
what-
time to get one?
Well, tomorrow, they're gonna put up the flags we have.
Okay.
You know. They'll be fine with them.
Mayor,
Yeah,
I got a question.
yes.
Okay, first off, how many are we looking at? Because it doesn't.
I'm gonna say right around 30. We've got 29
30?
poles.
Okay,
So just as an even number, we should have a couple extra, that'll be one, and we'll have one more.
okay.
Um,
When's the last time we ordered these? I thought we just bought flags last
that's what
year.
we had to turn them back. We returned them.
You returned them? Oh, because they didn't work?
One day out in the wind, and they
Oh.
were,
And we got credit?
Mhm.
Okay.
we've got a $1,500 credit rate now. I'm
From
90% sure.
This
If we go with-
company,
If we go with
Display.
these,
display. That's the credit we have with? Oh,
right.
okay. So second, is that the normal size we usually have? That seems really big.
Is what they have for pole, streetlight pole flags.
It's bigger than our standard ones
And
that we
that's
Yeah.
why
have.
I
Okay,
think we just go with one per pole. I mean, yeah, these are 2.5 by 4.
yeah,
And the old ones have that split.
okay, yeah, for 2 flag, okay. And then what about the brackets? Because I think, weren't you having a problem with those too?
Yeah, well, it comes as a kit.
Oh,
So you gotta go to bigger brackets too.
So this gets attached to the pole.
mm-hmm,
The stem comes out of that, the flag stem. And then they're attached with these heavy clamps to them.
okay.
So $78 a piece. The other ones are similar. They come with the flag pole bracket as well. $39. I think it's worth looking at them, but you tell me. To get
Well,
these,
if you
it's gonna
have the
cost-
credit at one place, how are you gonna
We
use
can get
it?
it back. They
Oh,
gave us the
they'll pay you
option.
back?
They're actually being good about it.
Okay.
So to get 30 of these, just for raw numbers, let's just call it $80 a piece, that's $2,400, we got a $1,500 credit.
Yeah, $840 more.
Go the other route, we get our money back, we buy it from the other outfit, we're gonna have $1,200 investment.
Say $300.
I think it behooves us to at least look at one of theirs, I can order one for $40 and see what.
See if they compare as long
Did you
as.
check with, Hibbing? Do they still do flags at,
I didn't-
Sullivan's?
I didn't check.
They used to sell flags. I don't know if they still do or not.
I just, went to, been buying them from,
Okay.
that's the thing that,
So we bought those cheaper black, those little wooden ones for years, and
Oh, yeah.
they last 2 or 3 summers and throw them away. If you added up all the money we spent on them, we'd probably be way money ahead with something else, the bigger. I see a lot of cities that are going to the bigger
and
ones.
these are gonna get.
Fully worn.
I mean,
Yeah,
for this kind of money, we put them away in each one in a garbage bag, and save the bag, whatever, but these are too nice to just roll up and put in the pocket.
right.
So, anyhow, you tell me what you want to proceed.
I would like you to order another one so we can look at it. You're gonna have to use the other flags, yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe we could have it by the next meeting and make a decision then. Thank you.
We should be able to have it.
Okay.
Okay,
We
thank
need
you,
a
Eric.
motion for that, or-
Good
No,
job.
it's under,
He's gonna have to go back up there again, so
okay.
might as well just stay up there. Might as well just stay up there.
8:25. You're back up again, Eric.
I did that one a couple times in a row here. So, the crane routes, what, RMS did not do that inspection, they do not do
Mhm.
inspections. So, I asked who they have inspect their bridge crane, and they gave me this outfit out of Duluth, North States Crane. I can find it easier. So, in talking with them, they do not, that North States Crane employees, Duluth, does not do the line truck. They don't do mobile equipment. And what they wanted to inspect the bridge crane in the shop was $500 plus a scissor lift rental. Now, who we've been using is American Test Center. That's who has been doing the truck and overhead crane, and the truck is $500. And the overhead crane in the shop is $100, $600 total.
You don't need to rent a lift. Okay, I'll make a motion to go with American Test Center.
Yes.
I'll support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay.
8:26, we'll discuss casual labor for street department.
So, I'm just not sure how, I have to come back to you each when we have a person hired, I'm not sure the process, whatever it is, different. I have to ask the council permission, because when I looked at the clip from when he was hired, and even what was written in the minutes, it just says, to be called to work as a newly by street department. Resolution adopted unanimously. I mean, I would like to have had them when the weather was warm. I want to get out and patch holes and put some brush and, I'm just trying to figure out what we're doing here. How do I get money back when I need it? If I gotta wait until the council meets again every time, it's just slows me down. And there's gonna be opportunities that are missed. So, whatever.
Well, is that why we set up, we went to this chain of command thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one of the downfalls of that. We have, and every time, everything has to go to the council.
Mayor, I got a question.
Yes.
So you have on here for Mike to return, okay, crane inspection info, what's that?
We just gave that to you.
Oh, this is what you wanted on the, okay, gotcha.
I didn't have,
Oh, I thought that was
No.
something you wanted him to do.
that was all I
What,
had.
what are you looking at having him do then, I guess?
Well, we
That's
have
my
a lot of
question.
brush and power lines to cut down and, yeah, it's, we used to have a guy in the truck, guy on the grapple, guy's cutting, you know. and
So what are you guys working on like right now? What have you been doing?
Right now, they've been spending probably, we might know some driving by, big, I don't know, they're down at that sewer plant an awful lot, trying to keep that thing up a couple hours in the morning generally, because both those buildings down there are flooding. I don't know what to do, just let it go. We've got them pumped out pretty good, so that's been going on. Which is, I think it showed you when you were there, the bucket on the tractor had to be built. We finished that. Now, we've got to start, we've got a couple more maintenance issues to deal with on equipment and, you know, it's supposed to get nice again and like to get all and get some brush up and the streets.
So the tarring, isn't it a little early to be tarring, patching?
Well, it just,
Because we didn't do anything all summer last year till September, so I'm kind of confused as to why we want to start
that's
now.
not true. We were out a couple times.
Well, a couple times, but
You know, right. I mean,
the majority
get
of
out
it.
when we can get out.
Yeah.
I was in a situation last summer, I can't help it. I couldn't get out. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it just didn't work.
I'm gonna go back to what I said before. I wasn't in favor of hiring unless we're using them for snow removal or, you know, that extra stuff that you basically have three full-time workers, and you have Rob if you need him. So,
He's trying to keep up with buildings. We all know that. He's busy up at the community center. But I'm just gonna go back to you. You were supervisor. You don't know a lot of times what work is gonna come up, but you gotta get after it when it comes up. And with the short staff we have, it's difficult at times. It just is. I'm not gonna have Mike there standing around. That's not gonna happen.
If you're gonna trim trees with them, that's fine, you know, but Mike did some, work when he was in Vegas, I know, on roads, that's what he was doing, because I gave him a written, job thing for him when he was up there, to help get him hired. So he'd be real valuable on the patching crew come spring. That's kind of why I don't want you burning them up yet. You know what I mean? He only gets 59 days or whatever it is. I want you to have him for that, because he'd probably run that whole thing himself, you know. If you're not there or can't be there, he can kind of, you know, use his expertise on that. That's the only question I got. If you're gonna use them for trimming trees, yes, you can have a few extra guys. You need truck drivers, you need guys with chainsaws. I mean, we're talking big trees that have grown up in the power lines. It's a big job, but that's up to you. If you're gonna use them for that, all okay, but
Yeah.
other things right now, we don't have much going on. I mean, there's no snow, there's, you know, been a pretty damn nice winter, so.
It has. I've never seen anything like this in my life. You know, so. That's where I'm at. Yes, I can use them. He's not gonna be standing around. He doesn't do that anymore.
how many people is it gonna take to do that?
Do it.
Trim trees?
Well, again,
2?
you're gonna have a guy driving a truck. No, man. You got a guy driving, you got a guy cutting. You got a guy on the skid steer to grapple loading, and then you have to clean up in the end, you know, rake and sweep the street if it gets on the street or whatever. You gotta clean up the mess.
Someone in the line truck,
Well. if
off and
we're
on,
not
you're gonna be in the
doing
line truck, your bucket, because you're not gonna be able to cut them.
Line truck always is a minimum of 2 guys. Whenever that goes out, you got a minimum of 2 guys, so it's a full crew. You know?
So how many shifts has he used, how many shifts already, or
Look,
like,
he just got hired back and got.
so it starts over in January? Is that why?
Mhm.
He was hired at the January 10th meeting, and when we shut the ring down, basically, he went home, and I just understand that, but whatever.
Mayor,
Yes,
did you talk to Mike? Because at the last meeting that we discussed this, I thought he didn't want to come back.
He was upset and he said he wasn't gonna come back. And then I talked to him again and he says, well, I will. For you, I'll come back, Eric. Exact words.
So how long do you think it would take for tree trimming? Would that help the council if you know about how many hours you'd need them or
We've
something?
got the one that Pam brought up down in the trailer park that, you know, for sure it's probably gonna take the better part of the day, would be a guess. We have several others around town. I mean, yeah, they've just been neglected.
it's endless.
There's reality, this stuff is just growing in. There's so much of it because nobody takes care of it anymore. Nobody,
We got left way too long.
until it gets so bad, then we have to.
There's a bunch up where the line runs around behind the school, you know, where that ends up. And that's something you should probably get after right away, when the ground is froze.
Ground is froze.
You won't get in there otherwise.
A lot of it, now that we've got the brush dogs, I ordered new blades for them. Once we get it knocked down to the ground and it's smaller stuff, we can mow it more regularly and keep it up.
Yes,
That tractor it was a huge thing.
that'll be big.
So anyhow, and not to get off subject, but I was asked also, when we're on the subject, what are your thoughts? The cemetery was brought up. Do we try and go up there and clean the brush and mapping, just brush off the food that we have? I don't want to go up there unless you guys say, yeah.
I just got a couple comments. So if he comes to work to cut trees, you have all the equipment ready to go.
Yeah, that's all.
There's nothing there. You ordered all the equipment. It's ready to rock. You will get in the trucks, you go and you get it done. There's not, we need to order this or we need to order that, and then it's gonna happen.
Chainsaws.
Everything's ready.
We keep the chainsaws up and extra chains on hand. The grapple, you just mount it on the skid steer.
When would you be starting this, sir?
Pardon me?
When would you be starting this?
Well, I would say you could get to it next week. I mean, I don't see any snow again. And it's supposed to warm up again. We're gonna have this one cold day coming, whatever it is.
And you're off Monday, so
Well, it should be Tuesday.
Tuesday?
I would say.
When would you be bringing Mike back in?
Tuesday, or can, or whenever, you know? We got 2 days left of this week.
It'll be the 27th.
Tuesday will be the 20th.
Oh, my weekend.
Yeah, next week's the 20th.
Yeah, I'm sorry, this point. All
As far
right.
as the cemetery, I think we have bigger fish to fry
Too much
in town
I know.
than
I
the
was asked
cemetery
to
right
be,
now.
So I said, well, I'm not going up there till I talk to you.
We're so far behind on other stuff. We just can't right now.
There's lots of
I
stuff.
mean, that would be just killing the crew. You know what I mean?
Well,
There's just too much other stuff.
we just got done burning the fish pile. And
Yeah.
whatever, I get it. But a lot of that stuff out there, when we get to it, probably not gonna be shoved back in the woods. Mulch it up with the brush up. So, and we have a good hour, and it's good for-
Mayor?
Yes.
So to alleviate any further confusion, and since Supervisor Sunquist refers back to the resolution, can we have a motion to approve a resolution for the higher return of Jukich for the time period and for the purpose? So this doesn't keep coming before the council?
Well, again, you know, I'm having trouble understanding why we said to be paid back as needed by the street department. You know, the whole thing. Motion by Councilor Thompson, supported by Mayor Levine, to adopt resolution 2024-03 to hire Mike Jukich as casual labor at $18 an hour, up to 59 shifts, to be called to work as needed by street department. Resolution adopted unanimously. I don't understand why that's go back to the council every time. When it was written like that.
Was that done after or before we went to the chain of command?
This was just done. This was
Before.
when it was hired back on January 10th meeting.
But then he quit,
No,
You said he
it was sent home.
yeah, you said he wasn't coming back,
Mhm,
because that's the report that we got, is that he
Yeah,
wasn't coming
well,
back.
that-
Well,
mhm.
you don't
He
get
was
to
upset.
choose when you come back and when you don't come back. Like, that's not your choice.
Okay, so then we have to have him reapply again?
And then you can make the motion, just like if you're gonna assign duties or someone's gonna assign duties of what he's gonna do, he doesn't get to choose, like, I get to go do this because, yep, I wanna do this and I get to do this because then I don't
He just
have
wants
to.
to work.
Or I don't wanna flood the rink.
Yeah, I don't wanna flood the rink, so then I'm not gonna come back, so, I mean, I got a problem with that. When you're told what to do, that's what you do, you don't get to second guess, you don't get to ask, like, that's what you're hired for.
He was told to not flood the rig at the end.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be back on the.
It's on record.
That was a mess.
It was, yeah, I'd rather just
It just,
move forward,
you know,
forget about the stuff that happened there. I do have one question that's concerning me, on casual laborers. So if the street department has to have approval to have casual laborers work, that means every time Robin works in the office, casual labor, that's what she is, it has to come before this board too then. What's the difference?
Mayor, was not aware that she's a casual labor,
What is she?
an employee.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, she is an employee. She was here working in the office.
She works 159 shifts.
We just cut her hours is all we did.
Okay, because I know there's a
Basically an
statement in
employee.
there, and I'm not gonna look it up, but, that's how I'm looking at this thing, but that's fine. I'll look in the minutes and check things out,
So with it,
when Bill King was in here and how we put her back. And if we need to change it, we will change it, but I will check into it.
so we have this chain of command now.
No,
Or we have.
working on it, yes.
And it's drafted. And with this, like, I can see the confusion, like, because it's, 59 shifts, regardless, we have casual laborers, whatnot. You know what your stuff is that you have to do. I hear what you say too, Tanya, and I also heard Brody, kind of fix it at the end of that last meeting last time, where he gave the directive for Mike to leave. I think that there's a little bit too much confusion here, and I don't know how to clean it up. I think you know what you need to do for the street department, and I think with the 59 shifts, there's how many days in the year, and not including weekends, so we'll just say, 300, somewhere around there,
Yeah.
something. If you give or take, it's not a lot of shifts. So if you opt to blow through him, and I'm not saying you will, but if you opt, it's done, so, I think.
Another guy comes and another guy leaves and.
But I think with going back to what we talked about before, with Beth being kind of that person, that lead person in the office, between the two of you, like if you're calling somebody in and you're saying like, hey, like this list here, I'm sure this list comes somewhere on here, you have your list of all your spring work lists. You got your guys that you normally have, Rob's kind of taking up with the janitor stuff. But you have your two guys, you have a third person. I think to a certain point, you two can have a conversation about, hey, I'm having him come, he's up to 40, or he's worked 7 shifts, this is what I've had him do, this is what my plan is for him to do. Because you have to be talking about it, because it will go through fairly fast, like you said, the summer. I mean, you've got a lot of stuff, you got a lot of projects. So,
That's how we,
I mean, that's the only part I'm thinking about,
how we
is
used to do
it's
it.
not a lot of days,
But some people didn't like it that way, so we went to this other.
yeah.
And it makes it more difficult, so.
So I mean, if you have the brush and stuff like that, and your other two guys are doing the sewer plant and other stuff like that, you know what I mean, like, but you have projects going and you need that guy, I mean, I think it does have to, it's something that you know the most about. I don't know, because I'm not running around on the streets every day, I mean,
No,
you guys are around.
as long as he's using them and getting trees cut down, and when we get done with that, they can move in to start to fix all these holes in the street. I'm game. I'm on board. But we wanna make sure that when we'll be checking to make sure things are getting done, that's what we do now. So,
Yeah, I mean, if we,
I don't have a problem, that's
so
what
what,
we set up last meeting.
so going back to what Clerk Mackey said about the resolution for the specific duties. I mean, I don't know.
I never knew there were specific duties for the casual laborers. We put them to work doing multiple things, whatever.
Mayor,
Yes, Pam?
do we need a resolution or is a motion sufficient?
We typically do resolutions for hiring folks, and if he was, there's some question about whether he was.
Then we
he
would,
would,
okay.
I think you need a
Okay.
resolution.
Well, I know what you're saying, Eric, but I'm gonna go back to this lawnmower thing. Casual laborers can't mow lawn and it's sticking in my brain. So, yeah, well, last year it was not. It was an issue last year. So that sticks in my brain on that. So, because you were told by one of the ex-employees that they could not do that. It was a union
It's
job.
never been done before, is what he said.
Well, it has. So, and the mayor can probably attest to it. So-
I hired lots of casual laborers to mow grass.
The other thing is, when we're hiring students, they can work up to 100 shifts. They are not bound by the 67 shift rule through PELRA. If they are enrolled in school till the age of 26, 25, 26, and they show proof of that, they can work more than 67 shifts or whatever, we cut them off at 57.
They
Whatever.
generally get their shifts in.
Right,
and
but-
go back to school.
Right, but if they wanted to work longer, they could.
How can they, they're in school?
Well, it depends on what their school schedule is too. If they go to school
I've never said
Tuesdays
they
and
can't,
Thursdays.
but-
No, I'm just telling you though. I know this was a big thing here before where they couldn't, they had to be done whenever they hit that shift mark. But under PELRA rule,
Yeah.
it's, you can work up to 100.
So those girls were.
As a student.
Were stating, they says, well, we're gonna stop now, we'd like to have a couple of weeks of summer vacation.
Mhm. Right, I know, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying,
The college ones.
correct,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So,
So,
All right, so let's, make a motion here to hire Mike Dugas or not. We'll put it to a vote. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to hire Mike Jukic back.
I'll second that motion.
Maybe you want to.
and what's the
specify as
stipulations?
Council, you
Under,
might
are we
wanna-
making stipulations or is it
Well,
free
he's gonna
willing?
work on tree trimming, and then they're gonna move, when that gets done, accomplished, then they're gonna move on to road work.
So you might also want to restate positions, rate of pay and hours, just to restate it for the record too. Because again, if there was a break in service, you want to, I know that you were discussing it all, but in your
I
motion.
think
you
he's
want
at
to-
18, isn't it?
Correct,
Yes, it's at 18.
$18 an
Yeah.
hour.
Up to 59 shifts,
Yeah.
59 shifts.
Well, I don't know, has he worked some already this year?
Right,
So
that's what I'm
he's already
saying.
worked some, so I don't know what
So
he's
to
Jen-
the
at.
maximum allowed
Jen-
shifts,
yeah.
I
Whatever he
guess.
has left.
so this is
Hired back by
January
the
back
10th.
again?
I don't know, do you have to rehire him then, or what's the deal?
We were under the
Well,
impression he
Yeah,
quit.
yeah, if he quit or that was the council's belief, and I believe at that point, then you need to rehire. And that's why I'm saying you need a resolution and specify what the terms are.
So can I ask just one question? Quick? So if we rehire, then does he have to go through all of the backgrounds, all that stuff all again? The background, drug testing, all of that?
I would think so, I would think you would do that.
You waived it the last year in January.
Because he ended in December and came right back, so I didn't have him
And that's at
It
your
was-
discretion.
So you don't have
a
to.
week.
So he just did it in January.
He did it
No.
in December.
Oh,
Or for the December
Oh,
hire.
gotcha.
And it has to be, it's January, why do I remember it wasn't like this January, why do I remember it was like whatever the month they were hired to that, it was a year from that, why am I recalling that?
In terms of testing, you're talking
No,
about?
in terms of employment.
59 shifts. If they
59
got
shifts
hired in
a year.
October,
When
they
go
went
till
through, they
October,
finished their 59 shifts. That's how it was
You can
always
set
done.
whatever date.
But now it
the
got
council wants to
switched.
do it,
I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, I don't know how the council's doing that. Are you doing it on fiscal year or are you doing it on
I'm
year?
assuming we're doing a
Fiscal year and a
now?
fiscal year.
Okay. And I just want to make sure I'm on the right.
I didn't know we did that.
So
The
every
council can
Jan-
do it either which way, you just
Yeah.
have to specify what you're doing.
I don't know where the minutes are that said he switched it, but that's fine. If we're doing it that way, that's good.
So it's just for those two duties, trimming and bottle patching. For example, like.
Unless you
when
came back.
Rob was gone and it was Monday morning, when he was here to come off. And I was gonna send him, that's when he was done. The first one.
No,
But you were gonna have him do what?
Come and do Rob's duties, because Rob wasn't here that morning. Mop and get the bathrooms cleaned and whatever. It was a Monday morning that Rob was gone.
And we're okay with that?
I'm asking.
Because I'm back to this little hiccup
Specific
again
duties.
about a union position. Where we're always can't do it because that's a union job. So how are we working that?
So I think we have to specify it, that, I mean, because that only gets.
I mean, is
that's-
casual labor someone that can just come in and they can do anything that these guys are doing right now? They can drive truck, they can do welding, they can do electrical, they can, what are we limiting this to?
So I thought with the union part of it though, is if they were offered, if the union employees were offered and they, and I don't even know how you put that declined, because
Right.
why are you declining? But if they decline, like in this case, Rob wasn't here, I thought that that was allowable.
Yeah.
It's not, is
it
it?
is.
So I guess
It
I
is.
don't have all my ducks in a row, but.
So-
It goes both ways too.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
Then the next time you can't say, no, you can't. So,
Well, it's,
we never had any of these issues when I was here. We didn't have any of these.
No,
You know, this is a whole different operation with casual labor. So,
so the
we
fiscal.
brought it upon ourselves, that's all I can say. It's all this stuff. The way we used to do it, we have a casual labor, we had jobs to do. When we were done with them, we laid them off. When Eric first got casual labor, he didn't know he could lay them off. I had to tell him, he didn't know that. He wasn't here with casual labor. But you could have them come for 2 weeks and then you could send them home for a week. We didn't know that one. Eric didn't know that when he started.
I did, but I kept them busy.
Right.
They were cleaning vehicles and making sure things are kept tidy. I think that's part of the job. I don't know. We'll take care of our stuff. I fully.
I would like to see the trucks cleaned again. They've been
Yes.
really dirty, but
Whatever.
even on
I said,
Fridays, that's when we used to
roll the
do
white
it.
truck in today and give it a good cleaning and obviously it never happened.
I mean, there's
Try
gonna
again
be,
tomorrow.
I understand there's gonna be some days, there's gonna be hiccups in the schedule. You know what I mean? One, you're gonna be trimming and all of a sudden something's gonna come up. You have water line breaking.
All the time.
You might have something at the sewer plant. We're not gonna say you send it
Beaver
right.
dam with the culvert on them.
We're gonna say, go attack that, but then the next day you get back on tree trimming again. You don't just let it go for 2 months or 3 months. That's what I'm saying. You keep
I
at
think
it.
he needs to confer with the office and keep apprised. And we've
Yeah.
talked about this,
Problem.
so she can inform us of what's going on. To me, I can't see this pothole patching in February. That just
No.
blows my mind.
We do need to trim these
I think there's
Power
other
lines, they're
things that
terrible.
need to be done before pothole patching season.
Well,
Pretty
it's
soon
just
you'll
hot
have-
weather, I just thought it'd be nice to get out there and do it.
And I'd like to, Mickey, set up that meeting that we talked about, we haven't done yet on the,
For the spring stuff.
yeah, and kind of go over some priority stuff. No, we have a committee.
Mayor
We'll
Levine,
have to schedule
you're
it.
getting off of track here.
Yes.
We have a motion on the table.
Yeah.
And a second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
I,
Carry on.
No,
Okay, roll call.
Roll call.
Counselor Morris.
Yes.
Counselor Jivery.
Yes.
Mayor Levine.
Yes.
Counselor Levine.
no.
Counselor Thronson.
yes,
8.7, appoint counselor as a liaison to the planning and zoning board.
Currently, the zoning commission is Counselor, drawing a blank here, Thronson and Levine. But we have, got enough volunteers now, so you don't have to have counselors as acting members of the commission. And just like with the library board, we have Counselor Jivery as our liaison with the library to the council. So we would look for a nomination of a liaison from the council to the zoning board.
so who's on the board then?
So you have 4 right now, I think.
Matt, or is Matt off?
Okay.
Those two, Matt, Bruce, that gal,
Jivery
Oh, okay.
who's that one?
Oh.
and Gravel
Oh, yeah.
and Randy Nash, 4.
Oh, 4.
Okay.
And there's supposed to be 5.
I can keep recruiting.
There's 4 right now, and that's a quorum.
Well, I can stay on as
And I
council
was
too, I mean.
appointed.
Okay.
Well, you can't. Colleen, can council actually be members on there, on a zoning? Or is it just liaison?
It depends what your ordinances say on, do they speak to that issue, or is it? It's
don't know.
usually, in many cities, it's just other folks.
Yeah.
And then you're a liaison, and you can partake in the meetings and report that. But, I haven't looked at, I don't know if your ordinances address that commission at all, or your charter.
I don't know.
We don't have a
And
charter.
It's
You
been like
already have a
that,
Charter, that's right, so,
Or no charters?
yeah.
and it's been like that. This is what's confusing to me,
Mhm.
where the auditors have gone through this along with the state of Minnesota, and our audits have all been okay.
Mhm.
But now, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it's like Fortin Company went through all of our minutes, everything happened the way it happened. It gets sent down to the state of Minnesota. They didn't come back on anything.
Mhm.
So, and if we have to, I'm good with it, because I was gonna step away, but it's interesting. I just would rather have someone that has a little background instead of all brand new people. That's my concern, to understand the zoning board, because there's a lot going on, but that's interesting. I have no idea what
Yeah,
our
and some,
ordinance.
I think
Yeah, I
some
don't know.
cities, they provide differently, and you can set it up however you set it up.
Well, we should look at the
You might
ordinance
wanna
then.
let me take a look at the ordinance if you want, and kind of weigh in on what your
Yeah,
options are.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I think some cities do allow 1 or 2 council
And
members
I
on
think-
different commissions, and some don't, and.
Because when I was appointed, I wasn't on the council.
Yeah.
But then
Right.
once I got on the council, then there wasn't enough people. So then that's why I stayed on and
Gotcha.
Susan was.
Yeah, we should take a look at it, and if there needs to be an ordinance
That's
change
a
to
good
reflect
idea,
your
just to
wishes are.
clarify.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
and if there's no ordinance, I'll take a look at the statute too, just to see, since you're now under your new
Okay.
configuration, because oftentimes, if you have a charter, the charter's gonna define that, but you
Right.
don't have that anymore, so, okay. I'll put that on my to-do list.
Thank
tonight's
you.
To-do list. And I assume you would just want that on all commissions and advisory boards, or just to know what the
Yeah.
ones are.
So we're tabling this till the next council meeting? We do have a zoning meeting coming up before our next. No, we'll have time. Yeah, okay. Disregard that, carry on.
We need a motion for that. Table it.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to table the planning and zoning board.
Thank you.
Conversation and then,
I'll support for the next meeting.
And if you want,
I'll finish for the next
Any
one.
further discussion?
if you want to just
All in
direct us
favor?
on
Spit it out
Aye.
and direct the attorney
We'll all
to get more information.
You gotta make a directive.
Yeah, direct the attorney.
Sorry, yeah.
And then, I'll make a motion to direct Colleen to look at the boards. For what? I do.
Zoning,
Okay, we're
I
looking for a
think I'm
second.
zoning
I'll
out.
support
Okay.
that.
everybody is.
20 minutes.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. 8.8,
Mayor Levine,
Yeah.
yes.
if I may, Rob Owens is painting the interior of the community center, and he does have the large wall completed. He was wondering if we could actually not rent out the community center from the 19th to the 23rd, so that he doesn't have to paint, take down, paint, take down. But he got pretty far today,
Is there anybody scheduled for it? right now?
not the 19th through the 23rd.
19th. they're
Well, the
closed,
19th is
yeah.
closed, so he won't be working then.
They're doing papers.
So we
President's
just
Day
wanted
on
They're
there.
not, nobody's on there.
To know if it's okay with the council that we wouldn't allow rentals during that period for him to paint.
Okay.
Perfect. I'll make a motion.
I'll support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. All right, we'll move down to 11, I guess. Itasca land classification, maybe forfeited lands. We have a couple here. Everybody has one by them. This is in there.
This is in,
So,
it's in the.
I mean,
It's in the package.
yeah, so it should just stay as whatever, conservation. Yeah. Right, and then at some point, we're eligible to purchase that, correct? Correct. Yeah, okay. So, they haven't classified it though, right? I don't see the form in here that we have to tell them what we want. Have they done this yet, or are they saying they're going to?
Saying they're going to.
Going to, okay. But if we want them to classify it as non-conservation, we have to let them know.
Correct.
Okay,
So we're
so
looking for
I think we
what your
should need to,
intentions are.
yeah, I think we need to classify it as non-conservation then. And then, do we have to wait till after their hearing, before we can put in an offer?
Yep.
Okay.
Do we have any assessments or anything on that property, Belle? Or Billy?
Yeah.
Thomas, down on Thomas by the sewer plant?
Green building.
I have to look, not from.
I don't-
Pardon me?
Not from this last year, I'd have to look if you're talking about farther back.
No, it would have been assessed already, but if we have assessments on it and it goes into forfeiture, they have to be reassessed is all I'm getting at by law from the county. So if someone's living in it, then it isn't assessed, I would assume. But if it's been sitting there, I don't know.
Somebody was living in it
Oh, they
He's
were.
in there.
over the summer, I know.
He's still in there.
Still
There's
there.
lights on.
Oh, okay, well then he must be, okay, we're fine. I just wanted to make sure if it had to be assessed, I wanted to.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
So non-conservation is how we want to go, right? Yep. Yes, okay, so I'll make sure.
Can you move on from that then?
Do we make a motion?
I read it, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Did, I think
Oh,
I
I don't know if you
did.
did. You should-
I'll make the motion.
That's why I was nodding.
I'll
Okay.
support it.
I can't remember if we did or didn't.
Supported by Councilor Johnson.
Correct, thank you.
Any further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
And then I looked at the finding.
11.2, Itasca County proposed 5-year plan. That's a list of the highways and stuff that they're doing.
It's just informational, isn't it?
it?
Nope, we
I
talked,
looked through it. We're not on the list or anything. There's some 169 stuff, that's the closest stuff we have to us. Any discussion on it, we move on.
No. I'll make a motion to receive and file.
I'll support.
Any further discussion, all in favor? 11.3, Eric has submitted a annual spring work list. Should we go through that, or you wanna wait till after?
Let's have our meeting.
We'll just wait till after our meeting, Eric. They're all just gonna be the same thing, probably.
Let's schedule something. You're gone in a couple of weeks? The end of the month, you said? The end of February?
9th and the 1st.
Oh, so maybe the 26th, are you available or not? A Monday? February?
February the 26th is a Monday.
Does that work for you, Beth? Okay. Mickey, is that good for you or not?
Yeah, what time?
Whatever.
7, would you start at? I'm just
I
teasing.
don't care.
I've been there early.
I know.
I don't care.
Cut it to my
Either,
coffee.
3:30? 3:30?
Okay.
6:30, you guys want all the donuts.
Under 11.4, CLA audit. I'm not sure what that is.
That is the name of the City of Keewatin's auditors that have been here. They were here for a full week, and I want to commend Billy for providing as much data as she could find that they requested, and I'm doing the same, and they are doing an extremely thorough audit. So I commend the board as well for hiring a great firm. I really think our eyes are gonna be opened on a lot of practices and policies that we can only go forward. This is a really good thing, so. That's it.
Thank you. Number 12, on the council reports, are we gonna move on for this garbage fee issue, or?
Yeah, you have to close the meeting. I have just one thing before we close. I just wanted to ask Ally, and Beth, have we come up with anything on that grant for the federal?
The Scholar
Yeah.
application.
Yeah, have you, okay,
We were able to meet with Mayor Lee and Clerk Mackey. We're going to assemble the pre-application for those red roads on that
Okay.
map that you sent over,
okay,
excluding First Street north of Third Avenue there, which has been redone recently.
okay. Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Need the funding.
Then council, I guess, just the one thing Brian wanted to make mention of, I don't know, I haven't been here for a few meetings, so I'm a little behind, but, in terms of this next issue that you want to go into closed session, to the extent you want to receive information, open it up for some discussion of the issue, then we can move into the closed session. If you guys have already done that and you feel you have all the information you need and are just seeking legal advice, then we can move directly into the closed session. So I just wanted to lay that out there. If there was any other, either public or employee information that you're seeking, I know there's some documents here that you probably have reviewed. If you would do that portion in the open session, then we move into closed to discuss the issues further and for me to provide legal advice. So.
I think, does the council have any questions for the public utilities?
I guess not until I would have liked to review that before, but I don't really have any questions right now. Until I look at this.
Then you just need to state on the record if you're going in, what provision you're going in under, and describe just the topic to be discussed, which you've got on the agenda. So.
He needs to read that. Just read that 12.1.
Okay, 12, garbage fee issue. This meeting will be closed under attorney-client privilege for state statute 13.05.
Subdivision
Sub-
3B.
Subdivision 3B.
Thank you.
So they have to,
Yeah.
they have to.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just let them know.
Been a long meeting.
And it's valid.